Good day, doodlers, and welcome to Draw Cartoons. It's already May, I swear the years keep getting faster, and that means it's time for another Discord art showcase. Every month I share a bit of art that's been going on in the Discord. There is a link for that down below in the description for this video, by the way, if you do want to join in and, you know, maybe get a chance of having your own art in these videos in the future. For now, let's review what people have been drawing this month. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and that way you're not going to miss any of my future tutorials. I already know a bunch of people have learned a lot by watching this channel, so hey, maybe you could as well. And without further ado, let's get into it. Someone in the Discord known only as Oxygen has drawn this very interesting piece. So we've got a character facing the camera here with a lovely hairstyle. I love the way the hair kind of flicks out almost symmetrically, but not quite, on both sides. Something I really wanted to point out about this one, not only is it rather well painted, but they've also subtly used complementary colors. This is actually something that I discussed in a video very recently. I'm going to put a link to that in the top right, by the way. If you're not sure what a complementary color is, I explain it in 5 minutes. It's a very, very straightforward concept, and it's a pretty easy part of color theory. And this is something that Oxygen has done here. Purple and yellow are complements of each other. They're opposite each other on the color wheel, which means they always look pretty good together on a canvas. Now this character's hair is purple, or kind of like a lilac-y shirt going on there as well. And the skin has just the slightest kind of orangey yellow kind of tint to it, which just makes it really stand out and look bold and just glow. So very, very good color choices here, very deliberate and very interesting color choices. I had to show this one off. More practice, more experimentation, this time from user Namdius, working on those hand shapes and those expressions I can see. Love a bit of character design as well, just a bit of backstory for the characters there, where they come from and stuff. One thing I can point out here, watch the weight, watch the kind of size of the arms. If you look at Casimir over there on the right, her elbow looks to be almost coming down to where her hand is on the other arm, which isn't anatomically correct, although this is a cartoon, so there is flexibility with anatomy, of course. So do your best to keep things a bit more symmetrical, but otherwise I really like the look of these characters. Great expressions on them as well. GoddessSop has drawn themselves as Goku here. A bit of a change in the color palette, but it really, really works. I almost get this vibe of an energy-based Goku, or maybe even like an evil Goku here from the color changes. Since, you know, blue is the complement of orange and it is essentially its opposite. The hair's looking really good and the expression is very fearsome. The creases aren't too bad, but try to look at some actual real-life photographs of the way that clothing creases around someone's legs or around their arms. These creases are going in the right direction, but they're not quite there yet. The weapon could also maybe use a touch more detail, as it does look a little bit plain at the moment. But I can see this character kicking a whole lot of butt with it. Very nice work. Zezo has drawn a character who looks like they belong in the Sonic universe here. I love the style. They've got kind of like a jagged sort of sharp edge to your drawing here. I wanted to display this one because there's a very impressive consistency in the limb size. The arms are both pretty much exactly the same size as one another, and the legs are pretty much the same kind of length and width. That's something that's really hard to get right when you're starting out drawing, but it looks like you've got a little bit of experience under your belt now. Kevnick, I'm so impressed by this one. I'm not sure who this character is. They do look somewhat familiar, but nonetheless, that hair and the clothing just look absolutely phenomenal. I would love to see a full body drawing of this character, although I do respect that you can't always frame your artwork well when you're showing the full anatomy of the character. Sometimes just focusing on one part of the body, particularly the upper body torso, can end up framing a picture at its best, which is basically what you've done here. I don't really have any feedback for you. I think this is absolutely spectacular. The flow of the hair is just like, I can't stop looking at it. It's just really, really catching my eye, and the details on the clothing, that jacket, oh, very, very good. Squidthebanana is back, and just another really impressive cartoon here. Very on brand as well, you know, Squid the banana drawing a squid. I think the crown is a good touch. I like how it's to one side and kind of at an angle, and it's got a nice kind of shine to it. The big thing here that I wanted to show off was the contrast between the red in the bottom right corner and the blue in the top left corner. It really creates this passive clash between two temperatures of art. Squid's very bold and sharp style continues to impress. Now we have a very busy work of art here from Seco. We've got this ensemble of animals all together in this overlapping, very cool way. I've always loved art that does this. It takes several different things and it places them in this almost seamless kind of flow together. This is just another piece of art that simply doesn't need color. I think every piece of art generally benefits from some color, but this one doesn't really need it to stand out. There's an unbelievable amount of attention to detail here. Those feathers are just blowing my mind. And I know that we tend to specialize in cartoons over here in Draw Cartoons, of course, it's in the name. And while there isn't anything especially cartoony about this, I also love to show off artwork of this kind as well when I can. Now, I like to celebrate and show off a bit of creativity from the Discord when I can. Mochi Milky Bun has drawn this very cool looking evolution. It's an original creation. It's a sound-based evolution based on a bat. Makes me think of the Pokemon Noivern as well. If I've said that name right, I've only ever read it, so I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I love this. It looks like it's straight out of the game. If anything, maybe the legs are a bit too long for the Pokemon style. A lot of Pokemon have quite stubby legs, which seems to be becoming more and more the case with recent generations. But nonetheless, this is lovely. I love the tail, I love the wings, I love the ears, the kind of sound wave thing around the neck. It's very cool. I would love to see this in color if you can. Jose has drawn this showdown between one of my favorite Pokemon, Squirtle, and Bishamon, with what appears to be Big Ben in the back. Is that Big Ben in the background? Wow, London has seen better days. Absolute mayhem going on behind them. Even Jose admitted himself that this is something just random, to quote. Anyway, I wanted to feature this one in particular because I have a suggestion for how to do backgrounds. When it comes to drawing things that are very far away, you might want to give them just a bit of a wash of blue. As things become very distant on the horizon, you'll notice that they end up a little bit blue. And there's not much of that going on here, but that's okay because it's quite an advanced tip. The other thing is that it helps give a sense of depth if things that are far away appear kind of blurry. So if you're working with a pencil, you might want to smudge them just very carefully to give that impression that they're blurry and far away. Just some quick background tips for you. I might do a video on that in the future. Stoopy Gaming has drawn this caricature of Albert Einstein himself. I think this is absolutely spectacular. It immediately caught my eye. The very wispy way that you've drawn the hair is almost whimsical in nature, and yet very accurate to Einstein's seemingly stubborn and constant hairstyle of bedhead. The bold lines around the edge of his face are just very effective at keeping your eyes in the center of the canvas here. There's some excellent shadows going on. You really could be a professional caricature artist. This is brilliant. Carol's back and they've designed their own OC here. The stylization of the hair is very interesting. You've kind of chunked out the strands in almost a dreadlock style. It's not, but they're bundled in a way that it looks like it. And it ends up having a very interesting appearance. It's very eye-catching because it's very high in detail. I don't really know what Oya 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 means. It sounds a bit like one of those, you know, like DJ remix kind of sounds. Also, I think I see something a little sus over in the corner. Overall, Carol, great job in getting something to be quite eye-catching in the absence of color. You've only used pencil and pen here, which leaves you with a grayscale picture. That's the term for something that's anywhere between black, white, and gray. It's really fun designing characters, and I can see you've written a bit of backstory here on what they do, and yeah, that's just a very engaging part of drawing. So that's my tip for you guys who want to design your own characters. Maybe try to think of a background about them. Where do they go to school? Where do they work? What do they do? Are they some kind of superhero with a disguise? Are they just a standard Joe Blogs kind of character? Try to think of a story and a bit of a history before, during, or after you've drawn them. Doom is back and they have drawn Moon Knight's hand, or fist really, clutching their famous crescent moon shaped weapon. It looks like they've dropped it in a huge vat of salsa or ketchup, and definitely not viscera. I wanted to feature this one because I really like the shape of the hand. Drawing a hand clutching an object isn't always easy, but Doom's made it rather effortless. You've got this narrow part around the wrist which is very anatomically accurate, and the way the thumb kind of springs out here on the left, it has a very natural curve to it, so I just really want to highlight this one and say this is a superb painting of a hand. And that's going to be it for this month. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you click that blue thumbs up to show that you liked this video. That really does help me with the YouTube algorithm. And what helps me even more than that is if you subscribe to this channel and click that bell if you haven't already. With that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care.